everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where we always got something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I am your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog. And folks, we are getting dangerously close to alarm bell sounding time. Now, before everybody sounds off in the comments and starts burying their heads in the sand, listen up, everybody. This next stretch of baseball, it's going to determine a lot. And we are going to take a look at that and just talk about what the Toronto Blue Jays need to do to get themselves back on track and get themselves back into a wild card spot, because this next month is crucial. We just got spanked by the Baltimore Orioles yesterday. We were recording this on Wednesday, so the game prior, we got absolutely annihilated. And I believe that makes our AL East record 6-16,
I believe it is.
6-16.
Yeah. So clearly we can't beat the AL East. Let's just accept that fact, okay? It's very, very tough to beat the Baltimore Orioles and the Tampa Bay Rays. They're going to make playoffs. This video is based off the premise that they're making playoffs.
Probably.
But if there's one team that we might be able to beat, it's the New York Yankees.
You got to think so.
We got to think. And that's our one chance, because if we can't beat them, well, you might as well pack up your bags and go home, Blue Jays, because you're not making playoffs this year.
Let's go over to the standings really quick, or the wild card standings right here, guys. Now, we know that it is very early to be scoreboard watching and everything like that, but when you are in an AL East and just the American League in general that is this competitive, I don't even remember a time when it's been this competitive.
This has been very competitive.
Exactly. It's always been competitive in the American League East and American League, but this is on another level, right? So because we are in such a competitive league right now, you do need to take a look. And when we are looking at these squads, Tampa Bay, we know that they're walking away with it, right? They're walking away with it. Yeah. The Texas Rangers are legit. So even if they don't win their division, maybe Houston comes back and wins, I do think that they're going to be in that conversation for a wild card spot. And I mean, AL Central, well, somebody's going to win it anyways, right? So we can forget about them. But that means that those wild card teams, from the Orioles all the way down to the Blue Jays, and you might even be able to throw in the Mariners in there if they come back and start doing something.
Right.
But all of those guys, I think you can make a strong argument for why every single one of those teams may or may not deserve playoffs.
Oh, they absolutely do. Like, you're looking at basically 9 teams here that are all playoff worthy, and it's going to be a fight to the finish. And what's crazy is that we all assume that the Blue Jays and the Yankees will be on top, but now we find ourselves in this new reality where we're fighting for even just one spot.
Yeah.
And if we look at the wild card, you got locked in Orioles, you got locked in Houston Astros. Like, Houston Astros, again, it's going to be them or the Rangers in here, and they're going to be locked in.
Yeah, I think we can put the World Series champs in the wild card.
Exactly. And then obviously, like we're seeing, Orioles, they got our number this season so far. They're going to be locked in. So our reality, our path in order to get into the playoffs, like I mentioned before, is we got to beat those New York Yankees. And it looks like the Angels are creeping in there. So we got to also outperform and beat them. But if we can directly beat the Yankees, that'll be good. However, we may not directly have to, because we have other opponents outside of the American League that we have pounded. And we're having a stretch coming up very soon where we have an opportunity to gain some games and actually have a chance to get back and outperform the Yankees.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that stretch right now, everybody. When we flip over to the calendar over here, guys.
Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
It's been tough sledding for the last month and a half, right? And we still have a few more games of that. You got to finish off this series in Baltimore. You got Texas, and then you got Miami. And all of those teams right now, all of them are in playoff spots.
Yes, they are.
But after that, you're going to get a solid few weeks, 15 games to be exact, where before the All-Star break, we are dealing with teams that are all below 500. Athletics, San Francisco Giants, Boston Red Sox. You got the Chicago White Sox, who were a disaster, and the Detroit Tigers. That is 15 games against teams that are below 500, all leading up to the All-Star break. And there's so many factors. It's a massive domino effect, this stretch, because not only do we need to absolutely annihilate these other teams to just gain some ground on the New York Yankees and the LA Angels, we have to annihilate them because this is our easiest stretch. But also, too, if you want to instill the management with any sort of confidence at all to trade for guys come trade deadline, because that is coming up, right? you need to be in a position, in a competitive enough spot to say, well, if we do bring that guy in, we are going to make playoffs. Because there's no point in going balls to the wall at trade deadline if the Angels and the Yankees are 5 games ahead of you and they're going to take the spot.
No, if we do not find ourselves in a wild card position come the All-Star break, you might need to say wave the white flag. You might have to wave the white flag here, folks. Look, I'm a big Blue Jay believer, but like every other team has had, that we're competing with, have decent schedules. Some they've had their easy schedules. Now they're getting their little bit more competitive schedules, but none of them really have a stretch like that we've had coming up soon. So if you want to get, like you're saying, some trades, some acquisitions, some reinforcements coming to the Toronto Blue Jays, we better be in a wild card spot, because we better in those 15 games, Nick. We got to get 11 wins. We got to get even 12 wins to get back in there, man.
Exactly, right? And I mean, at the beginning of the year, everyone was looking at Tampa Bay and they were going, oh, they got an easy schedule. They got an easy schedule. Well, they dominated, right? They dominated and they picked up the W's where they have to. If we were to go, let's just say we go 500 in this stretch against extremely beatable teams, then let me ask you, who can we beat? We can't beat the AL East. If we're only, beating these guys half the time, we can't really beat them either. So who can we beat? And then if you're the management, you're asking yourself that as well. Like, well, what are we doing here, right? It's like you need to show some dominance and show why you were considered a top 5 MLB team walking into this year in this stretch of squads right here. I do think that 11 wins, 12 wins, that's where it's got to be.
It has to be, right? Because again, like once you get those reinforcements at the trade deadline, you're going to face the Yankees and Tampa Bay at the end of September. We've all kind of highlighted that, knowing that that's going to be a showdown for these Toronto Blue Jays. And if you have reinforcements, well, now you can look like a different team, because in the past, this team that we currently have cannot beat the AL East. We know that. So in order for us to get there, we need this stretch of games. It's really crucial, man. It feels like a checkpoint, a boost.
Absolutely it is. And let's go back to the calendar very quickly here, guys. Let's go back to the calendar and just show you folks that after the All-Star break, we're going back to tough games. Arizona's legit right now. I mean, the Padres, they're chilling around 500, but they're starting to pick it up recently. The Mariners are a 500 team. You got the Dodgers. You got the Angels, who are now in conversation. You got the Orioles, right? That's a lot harder than the 15-game stretch that we do have. So we need to pick up W's and show the management why we are elite. And we didn't actually flash it up yet, but the other squads, Houston and the Yankees, they're actually picking it up now, which is kind of scary, right? It's kind of scary.
Yeah, like right here, you got the team hitting stats, right? And if you look at the last 30 days, like, guys, they're still chilling, right? I mean, we're doing well at the offense, but you do have the Houston Astros that are still there. And let me flash you over to the pitching side of things. This is where it's really scary. The New York Yankees in the last 30 days have been the best team in baseball in ERA. Regardless of their injuries, they have been the best. And still the Houston Astros there.
They're always going to be there.
And then look, we're 12th. And like, that's always been our Achilles heel, is the pitching. Like, man, like we cannot compete in the postseason if we don't have competitive pitching, and that's my biggest concern.
And we are tied with the Angels right there as well, and they're in this conversation. And I know that they've been really good because they've been on a hot stretch. They've gone 8-2 in their last 10. So our competition is effectively picking up right now. They're picking up their socks and they're going on a little bit of a run. And if we want to stay in this race, if we want to enter All-Star break, staying in the conversation, if we want to enter trade deadline, not having to have the conversations about selling, we have to pick up W's right now. This next few weeks, this next month of baseball is absolutely crucial.
It is, man. The narrative can completely change, and I really hope for the better that we actually dominate. We have to dominate, man.
We go 500, we got to make a video about selling Matt Chapman, and I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it, guys. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts about this next stretch. Do you think the Blue Jays can do it? Can we survive this little tough stretch here before the good stretch? And do you think we're going to make a trade at the trade deadline to help the Blue Jays get to the postseason? You let us know.
Also, guys, please comment your thoughts down below. Hit the like, smash the subscribe. $3 a month, become a Patreon member. Shout out and thank you to every single one of these current Patreon members. Also, our YouTube members, too. You guys are all amazing.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. And go Jays, go!